Hi there. I wanted to talk a little bit about Highguard and what I thought of the game, and how I think that a lot of people that look at the game kind of misunderstand it. A lot of people say that Highguard is going to be a Concord clone. I don't really think it's going to be a Concord clone. I kind of see a lot of I mean, it's very, very minuscule what they kind of showed off, and I don't really understand why. I think they were kind to trying to drive home a sort of aesthetic for the game moving forward, where people kind of had a little bit of an idea of what the game might be, and they might shift it based on the expectations. But what I think Highguard is going to be is an FPS MOBA, and that's why they kind of said the thing about the new breed of shooter. So, because of course it's going to be a hero shooter, as is every game moving past COVID. Seems like it's going to be another hero shooter, so that's kind of out of the question. Um, Something that I thought was kind of interesting was the prevalence of MOBA aspects in the High Guard trailer. That's just what I thought. There was no shop, there's no skills, but there's a lot of elements that I think are not purely based on this whole Call of Duty capture the flag team deathmatch sort of thing. I think there's a lot of other stuff here that is very prevalent that no one is talking about. But I'm gonna go through the trailer here, and we're gonna go through it bit by bit here.
Into lands uncharted.
So I'll stop it right here, and I'm just gonna keep pausing and unpausing because that's just how I'm gonna do this. But here we go. We have an opening shot of what looks like just some main character, masculine sort of whatever. I guess this is just gonna be like the Soldier 76 of High Guard or whatever. By the way, high equals over, and guard equals watch. I saw that in where is it? Yeah, I saw this and I thought that was really funny. And I told it to the one of my guys that I talked to a lot. We played a lot of Overwatch together. As we used to do. Overwatch used to be so big, man. But it's crazy. But rule number one, we have a very big opening shot here with a generic male main character, which turns a lot of people away. A lot of people said that this guy looks like just generic main guy number one, which I understand that, but for the most part, I couldn't really care less about a lot of characters and lore in my games now. I mostly care about how they look, which, I mean, so far here, it kind of looks a little bit like Spellbreak and other games like that. Hang on, wait, we'll blow up Spellbreak here. Yeah. I'm forgetting some of them, but it just looks like that sort of like cartoonish fantasy sort of thing right here. That's mostly what it appeared as to me.
And dangers untold.
So here we also see that the at least the world is going to be really big, and we have whatever this is. I guess it's just going to be another fantasy sort of like airship. It kind of reminds me of Skylanders, like, where they had those massive little airship things. It was that in Battlefield 1 also. Battlefield 1 wasn't really fantasy, it was World War 1, but this looks pretty cool to me.
I venture without fear and ride without.
Here we have the first sort of mechanic right here. We have the ability to, what is it, summon a steed, summon a horse, Elden Ring style, and then ride it into combat,
Ride
which
without.
I like that. Something that I thought about this game that no one was really talking about. The only other FPS MOBA, I think, that I've seen at least, was Paladins. A lot of people didn't really draw this to Paladin, or at least I haven't seen a lot of people compare this to Paladins. But it reminded me a little bit of Paladins because we have some of these MOBA aspects here and there that people don't really talk about, and we have stuff like this, like summoning a horse, which the whole fantasy aspect it lines up really well. But I don't think people are gonna enjoy it as much as other people. I think one of the main difficulties that this game has is that it's advertising to absolutely everybody, when in reality, something like an FPS MOBA is only going to appeal to maybe like 10% of the population. But hey, it's going to be a free to play game releasing in about 2 weeks here, so we'll see. We'll see what it is.
Rest.
And here we see our first bit of what we look like, whatever this is, the Beretta from our standard game, like a machine pistol, and we're shooting at
The
what
coin.
looked like PvE targets here.
Rest.
This might be other players or whatever. They said there would be PvE elements in this game, which,
To the end.
you know, stuff like this, game trailers are so scripted, you can't tell what is supposed to be environment and what is supposed to be player in terms of this. But this whole mechanic right here kind of appealed to me, where you kill things at least, and uh, you throw some another mechanic here. You throw something and then it comes back to you. That's cool. I like that. I like the idea of stuff like Mjolnir or whatever. I remember Destiny 2. I think it was like I think it was the DLC last year or 2 years ago where they implemented the Titan Solar Exotic. For those who know, the Titan Solar Exotic, the gauntlets where you can throw your hammer and it can come back to you, and that was really cool to me. But I never really, I kind of stopped playing Destiny 2 after a bit there. But yeah, this mechanic right here where you can take whatever I assume this might be a signature melee weapon for the hero here, for our whatever the main character here, or maybe it's gonna be like Valorant where you can buy a bunch of cute skins and get a little fairy wand as your what is it? Hang on, Valorant wand melee. Shit, melee. Yeah, you can get one of these in Highguard. I can't wait for them to. I can't wait for this game to be full of predatory microtransactions. I can't wait for it. Check boxes, guys. Check boxes. And Wildlight Entertainment, which apparently was full of some people. A lot of people. It was from. They said it was from the. I mean, I think they said it. Say it right here. Nah, never mind then. But Wildlight Entertainment has some of the like Titanfall 1 and 2 devs on it, and some of the Apex devs too, which I think is going to be pretty cool. I saw a video detailing how much of the crew was from like EA, like Titanfall and Apex, where it's half of them, but half of that half is works solely on Apex. So that's kind of a red flag to me. I was a long time Titanfall fan for the longest time, and then Apex came out, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I never really liked battle royales in the beginning, and then COVID happened, and then every single um, game tried to make another battle royale, another free to play battle royale to just hop on that hype, which I never understood. I think I'm in the minority there for the most part, because when it came to Fortnite especially, I was a big fan of Save the World, and not even that I was bad at PvP. I just knew for a fact. Hang on a second, I had it clipped because one of my friends said something about it. It was uh, hang on. It was I knew I had to get good at it in order to enjoy it, but I knew that even if I did get good at it, I couldn't enjoy it. But yeah, we're all over the place here, so I'll keep this going. Here we have a showing off some abilities. I think uh this might be some sort of either like ultimate or like a magic summon or something similar to. I was talking about MOBA elements earlier. We have Rift Hair. Hang on, Rift Herald from League of Legends, where it's this neutral monster in the river, in the center of the river, and it is a thing where you kill it and it just gives you a thing that you can summon, and it goes and kills stuff, and it does an objective. You can slam into a tower, and it's just a big objective to help you out, which that's what this seems like to me. And right before that we have a sniper, but we have what looks like some sort of it might be a monster, but we see later someone transforming into something like this. So I guess this is going to be a sort of a druid class, like a druid class where they could shapeshift into either a werewolf or a wolf, like either can shapeshift into a werewolf or a bear or stuff like that. I know ARPGs like Diablo and Path of Exile, they always have a class like that, ones that can just shapeshift and whatnot. So that's what this seems like to me. Either that or just another tanky PvE mini boss that you can do for as a side objective. Yeah, here we go. From the makers of Apex Legends and Titanfall, which, both are good games by themselves. Both are really good. Altogether, the universe is really good. I just know it can do a lot better than what they got going on right now. And it wouldn't be an EA game without advertising a destructible environment. There's another box for y'all to tick, guys. And there we go. They just advertised it was from Titanfall and Apex. Let's look at that again. We have a slide. That classic you crouch in those games and it gives you that, yeah. Like especially Back for Blood. Back for Blood kind of had that as well, where you crouched and you had your weapon off to the side like that. So that's kind of cool. And there's that orb mechanic. And another movement ability. What was Revenant's ability, guys? Didn't they have a rework or something like that where you were able to just jump at them and it was a silence, if I'm not mistaken? Oh, yeah, because whenever you have a hero shooter with abilities, you always have to have a the Sombra equivalent in games, which is horrendous to me. I can't stand that. That's why I liked Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals has been around for almost coming up on 2 years now, going into its second year, and they yet to have a suppress mechanic. Outside of maybe, you get stunned and you can't use movement abilities, which if you're playing the thing, you're screwed. But continuing on. A new breed of hero shooter. Sorry, not hero shooter, a new breed of shooter. Guys, I wonder how many times we've seen this advertised. There's another box to tick right there. More innovation, quote unquote innovation. I think this is kind of cool. I don't know about this guy. This guy kind of looks like ah, not Virgil, but he looks maybe Leon Kennedy a little bit. No, not really. But yeah, we have a Caustic's Mythic right here. For those of you who are wondering where this asset might come from, this is like a one-to-one look-alike of Caustic Mythic. Yeah, there it is right there. Hang on. Hammer. Yeah. What are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? I mean, it looks cool. I like hammers in games. Hammers in games always have a cool power fantasy to them. There's a shotgun here. Where have we seen this before, guys? I think this is probably in mandatory that this ability gets deployed 5 times in every Valorant match. I think. Possibly. Alright, it's guaranteed. But yeah, more gameplay here, which I think this right here is going to be... Wait. Yeah. Whatever this is right here.
Your light belongs to me.
This animation right here could possibly be a form of execution, I think. I don't know who this girl is. This girl looks like some sort of, I think her name was Scarlet from Mortal Kombat. Just someone that was very, like, evil or whatever, and had a lot of these, like, weird tentacles. It was like Slender Man, almost. We have, Slender Woman, I guess, that pulls out the... I'm just assuming this is either your life orb, and people could either execute you or res you through this, as we saw previously a second ago, where you stuck your melee weapon in this and you executed, I guess, or claimed points to deposit. I'm also thinking in a MOBA aspect here, we can claim these and it'll be a little bit like, not capture the flag. I think it was kill confirmed in Call of Duty games where you killed people or your allies died and you can claim their dog tags and bank them or save the tags or like save your allies tags. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Another cool shot here, which, oh man, lens flares. We love lens flares. But it's like an icy temple of sorts, and there's that other big fantasy airship that's I don't it's not steampunk. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely fitting its aesthetic for sure. Solar punk, I think that's what it is. And here we have Eerie of Crows from Dead by Daylight. I hate sand. This shot right here looked really cool. This was like a little Viking homestead or whatever, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like a Viking or whatever. But now we have, I'm assuming this is just going to be like a spawn base for the map because we have a like a big building with a shield, or perhaps this is going to be a objective to capture on the map, and it just acts as either a respawn point or some sort of safe area for the time, because we have this shield right here, and it's gonna do a lot in terms of either protecting or advancing. We also have this on the side here. This is probably going to be like a sentry in placement right here to protect it do even more to protect it, but moving on. We're riding out.
Moving in for the attack.
And this gun looks kind of cool. This gun kind of reminded me of the R301 or the R201 or the R101, like the standard assault rifle from Titanfall games. Hang on. R201 Titanfall. Yeah. A little bit of a similarity here, which I have no like issue with companies reusing assets if the assets were good. That's what a lot of people used to talk about in Destiny. Destiny was very what was it? They were very they reused assets often. That was a thing that they did very often, and this was another case of it with especially weapon like models. I think it was the frame of the subcategory of the weapon was always going to be the same because like the 120 RPM hand cannons, those models like especially for I think they had a stasis one called something new that was never going to be like that same model would never be a 140 RPM hand cannon and vice versa, which I always thought was cool. I always liked the look of the 120 RPM hand cannons, which stay tuned, we might see that again later on in this trailer.
For the attack.
Oh yeah, there's the wait, it kind of looks like a newer version of the ship or like a recolor. Hang on.
Moving in for the attack.
Yeah, we have that propeller ship right here that's moving in. It kind of looks a little bit more futuristic. I don't remember this carriage on the other ones, but I guess this tornado here is going to be a center part of the map because these maps look huge, and I'm sure they're going to be filled with objectives and stuff like that. But
Attack.
yeah.
Shield
This was really cool to me. I've never really seen you never really see like an Arthur's sword thing in video games outside of I think there was that one thing in Kingdom Come Deliverance because that was that kind of fit the time period. But not a whole lot of games I've seen tried to do something like this where you pull the sword out of out of the ground like Excalibur or whatever.
forming.
There we go. Another I don't know if this is probably going to be hang on, an ability that this person has, which this gun kind of looks cool, but I don't know if this whole thing is just going to be an interactable where you can interact like Valorant, because someone's bursting through the other side here, clearly, so we don't know what this is going to be, but this looks,
Forming.
at least right here, this looks like it could be something different, like something that's maybe not on a cooldown, but a passive ability that one of the whatever the characters, agents, operators, heroes, whatever that they're gonna have. Which I kind of like this. I think it was in the finals. They had something that works similar to this way, where it's something that just removed it, not broke it, not made a hole in it, but like fully like removed it entirely. And I think in the finals it came back, but it was on like a very short cooldown or a very long cooldown, I think. But yeah, we have May Ice Wall because that's also another mandatory thing, along with the Valorant wall of fire or smoke or whatever it would be in other games. But yeah, we have this and that. This is gonna be, I guess, that modern version of that one. Hang on, I think it was called Bennett Mercier. I'm not French, so I know I'm butchering that. Yeah, this is probably one of my more favorite weapons from from Battlefield 1, which I kind of saw here. We have some gunplay here. And then we have throwing knives, which is probably going to be the offensive ability or the main ability. Maybe not the ultimate. It doesn't look that big to be an ultimate, but we have this right here, and I could have sworn this was like Ezio Auditore with like mantis little things going on. Which this character might be pretty cool. I don't know, but oh wait, no, that's not a hood. That's his hair. Never mind then. But yeah, we have explosive throwing knives, and then we have. Hang on. We have female protagonist character with midriff showing, check mark more boxes, pulling the sword out of the ground, which looks cool. I mean, all this stuff looks cool, but I don't know about the gameplay aspect of it. This is probably going to work a little bit like for those that play For Honor, specifically Breach, another MOBA adjacent because For Honor's game modes aren't specifically MOBAs, but it's another one of those very unique things that take a lot of MOBA aspects from other games and try to implement them. This might act a little bit more like Commander buff, where you can just get something and it just gives you a really powerful buff, or like in this case, it's probably just gonna be a sword right here. Or who knows? Maybe it's gonna be a more mainline objective. Maybe it's not gonna be optional. Maybe it has to do with the. I guess here's the enemy base, or an enemy spawn, or an enemy objective that they have captured, and now it's their little zone here with the bubble and everything. Here we have either the steed taking damage. It's either the steed taking damage or they forcefully dismount. I'm sure it's going to probably have, like, customization, at the very least with microtransactions, but I think it'd be interesting to have, like, steeds that did different stuff. Like this, of course we're going to have ones that go really fast, but maybe have a, like, burst speed on a cooldown perhaps, or steeds that are rather tanky, and steeds that maybe give you, like abilities, like a damage buff maybe. Like it's like matchups from rivals, but who knows. And there's that sword from earlier doing something, which is probably, for all we know, this is probably just the main objective where you insert it and you turn a key here. Another just MOBA aspect that I think would be really interesting to see in an FPS. Because Paladins, they didn't really do a lot in terms of MOBA aspects. You had loadouts, you had talents, you had not items you could buy, because they didn't really advertise it as items, but you had kind of perks that you could buy and upgrade. That's kind of how it worked with their shop system, which I thought was cool. And it was 3 things that gave you variables in a mirror matchup, which I think is really cool. I like the idea of having not a mirror matchup, but the idea that you can take a character that somebody has built and make it something entirely new and entirely different. That's why I kind of liked Path of Exile. I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile recently, and you can see that there's a lot of flexibility in the build crafting in that game, which I thought was really cool. And I would love to see it in adapted in some way, shape, or form in this game as well. But we have this, and then breaking the sword here. Breaking the sword here, because I'm sure this is just a hilt, and it opens up a gateway for, and this is probably my favorite part of the trailer, but you get this massive thing, and we have the main character hitting an emote, another mandatory thing in games, and we have just this massive, hang on, yeah, we just have a massive thing. This kind of reminded me of Halo 3 Elephants. Yeah, Halo 3 Elephants, and this is yeah, on the map Sandtrap, and these were really fun to ride around in. But what I really liked was the mammoths. I thought these are probably the pinnacle of game design, and it sucks that we haven't had a Halo game that has kind of recreated these. I mean, I guess they have it in Forge or whatever, but I just wish that stuff like this would be taken on a bigger scale. That's why I kind of appreciate games like PlanetSide 2. They kind of had a lot of really good stuff talking about like the possible scale that you could have things. PlanetSide 2 was just such a really good game as well. It was like the Team Fortress 2 of like war, whereas Team Fortress 2 was like class based, and it worked much more like an arena shooter than Overwatch. And Overwatch kind of sat down and was like, hey, it's just going to be this one main thing that you can do and nothing else. You do just the objective and shoot each other with predetermined hero kits instead of classes. Which, I mean, Team Fortress 2 and whatever, that other one I just said will always be better than Overwatch, but I'm getting too far ahead of myself. But yeah, PlanetSide 2 is really good, and stuff like this is really good to see in games. I would love to see more stuff like this in games. And I think I got what I was wishing for with this right here. Maybe it's not as big. However, I do like seeing stuff like this. So we have the ability to summon a massive thing and marching on the base after planting the rally banner into the wall or whatever. You have the ram. Oh yeah. So I guess that whole that thing where this what do you call this animal? A lion? A cheetah? Where this cheetah thing connects with the shield gate generator, perhaps? So we have the gameplay loop of you have to get a sword, you have to implant it into the enemy's keyhole, you have to plant the rally banner, you summon a massive thing, and then it brams it, and I guess this could maybe act as a like a no turning back point. Now you can now the allies can just spawn in here, and it kind of acts like a base where you could just directly shoot at them since the barrier is disabled now. Which I would love to see something like this, like you could just drive it around and whatnot, because I think that'd be really cool. Like Halo Infinite, big team battles. That was sort of like a ground level variant of what I was thinking, but I would just love to see bigger scale in games. I think the scale for games is still rather small to this day. But yeah, you rush the storm, you rush into the enemy base, and we have Bloodhound from Apex here, which more reusing assets, but you know, it's cool assets, you know, the idea that you have a bird and you can spot enemies. I don't know if it'll be like Battlefield's like 3D spotting, which, you know, would be cool because, you know, we have both elements of standard technology and fantasy magic in this game, which, you know, those two, when going together, will always create a very unique aesthetic that I like personally. I remember the first time I saw the Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 15 trailer. That was the first time I ever saw guns and spells be used in the same thing, which I thought was cool. But continuing on, we have spotting, we have the recon or whatever, and yeah, there we go. The druid class, the druid character that can shapeshift into whatever they're gonna call this, like a being of ice and muscle, which yeah. And then you can go third person, it seems, and then you do your big slam. Yeah, Destiny 2 Fists of Havoc right here. And more destructible environments, which, here we go, another thing of technology right here that doesn't look like magic, but it's probably just enhanced with magic or something like that. This is a view model from Destiny 2. This is the hothead. Hang on a second. If I could look up just a video of someone using hothead. Hot Destiny 2 hothead adept. We just get footage of somebody using it. Hello, Aztecross. But hang on. Yeah, we're gonna load it up. Oh, come on, shoot it. There were other RPGs that in Destiny 2 that had that sort of like sight that flips out on its side. Oh, come on, use the RPG cross. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So we have that right there. Bam, keep that in mind. Oh yeah, Eyes of Tomorrow. We're looking at Eyes of Tomorrow here, people. Yeah, because it's got tracking rockets. And then we have... I thought this looked really cool. Whatever you have the electric magic Elder Scroll here. We have the Elder Scroll that gives you lightning bolts, and now you're Zeus of sorts. And I can't tell if it's going to be a large AoE right here. But, of course it's going to have a big hitbox, and it seems to one-tap, which, if there's going to be a lot of one-taps in this game, it's going to be a little, you know, difficult to balance. But, at the same time, if this is supposed to be going for, like, really big hero fantasy, I can understand why they would have a lot of very powerful, overpowered abilities, you know. Like Rivals, we had a lot of very overpowered stuff, but we'll see how it ends. And then we have a channeling ability of sorts. We have a cast with aura farming, it seems. And then it just shows off even more destruction here, which I don't know. We have a Skyrim shout that destroys a bunch of the map in front of you. And here we go. Yeah, 120 RPM hand cannon right here. Yeah. Just the look of this revolver was really cool, and whatever this muzzle brake compensator thing is right here. And I guess this is gonna be like the big brawling tanky guy that is over enthusiastic about killing everything. But yeah, this revolver seems kind of powerful, and we have CS:GO right here. There we go. There's another checkbox to mark down here. We have CS:GO. We got planting the bomb.
I am a warden.
Yeah. So it seems like it's going to be full of a lot of different objectives across a map. So I'm really thinking that this is going to end up being a MOBA, and not a lot of people are going to like it because they don't like MOBAs. A lot of people don't like MOBAs, and for reasonably so. They're just so overwhelming for new players, and they're never beginner player friendly. Which I would love to see Highguard, or I would love to see Wildlight or Wildfire, whoever these people are. Um, I would love to see these people try to make it work and be a little bit more beginner friendly.
This is my oath.
Yeah. I guess I'm just gonna be streaming. Yeah, Wildland Entertainment. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna be streaming this game when it comes out. Because what else am I gonna do? Get a job? But yeah, for the most part, I have a little bit of hope for this game. I don't think it's gonna be a little bit like Concord. I don't think it's gonna be like Rogue Company either, which was another game that tried to copy a little bit of CS:GO. Because I remember when everyone tried to copy CS:GO, you can kind of see that prominently when was it one Call it Heist in Call of Duty Black Ops 4? That was a CS ripoff. Every game wanted to make a game like CS:GO. I remember it was just that was everywhere, but yeah. There we go. I stretched out, what was that? A 3 minute long trailer into half an hour. So yeah, I hope this I hope this was worth it. I'll see y'all when this game comes out, and yeah, see you then.